Welcome to the episode of The Trillions. We, the sheeple, are being trained to accept the mathematical term trillion, among other things, due to the fact that hundreds of trillions are what it's going to take in order to turn the economic tide. Also, to bring about the twisted Green New Deal. The elites need those digits to bring about a complete overhaul of our system and way of life. The Federal Reserve, the Treasury, the IMF, the WEF, and all the other factions of the Great Reset are all on board with infinite spending. And soon most of the politicians, world leaders, and the people will be unfazed by even a quadrillion. Eventually, it will all be tuned out, like going from 800 billion deficit to several trillions in less than a year. Yeah, oops, that just happened. But don't worry, it's not entering the world as greenbacks. It's just being laundered into a broken debt system. The immoral, unjustified, digital Ponzi scheme has no end in sight. It's just getting warmed up for a flurry of digits. The trouble for most of us is all those digits stay at or near the top of society. The expected trickle-down has had a drip pan carefully placed under it somewhere above $1 million a year income, giving us this fabulous two-tier societal dystopia. But that's what the current planners require. All that wealth has to stay at the top with the wolves, while they get the sheep hooked on the government grass. Large changes are being implemented amid massive distraction. There's so much unreliable news, political propaganda, and false statistics. Anytime there needs to be a shroud draped over an agenda, the puppets gather in front of a camera for their favorite network, spewing whatever they think their constituents want to hear. While behind the posturing, they're just chasing wealth and another term, and sticking it to the sheep. I'm sure more than a few want to be the authors and forefathers of the socialist global utopian agenda. Won't that be a great chapter in their biography? Maybe they'll have a place of honor in the elitist Hall of Fame, or at the least a permanent chair on the board. But don't worry, they'll give you a job transforming everything to solar, wind, and water. They'll give you universal basic income, an apartment, and a bicycle. Like Quaz Swag says, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. The central bank and the corporation will own it all. Go ahead, embrace your new feudalistic leaders. Doubtful they'll ever let you that close. Don't worry, you'll be good at serfdom. Work a few hours, get free social retraining, free medical, free rations. Everything will be free except you. There's a reason they say freedom isn't free. Everything they do will be subtle. If anything is deliberate, it will be backed by necessity and for the good of mankind as usual. Whatever narrative keeps people occupied and looking the other way. The wolves are convincing the sheep to ignore sharp teeth, growling, and voracity. Don't worry, the hairy paw that feeds you won't ever bite, and you'll never get fleeced to clothe your shepherds. Eat, sleep, work, play. Live with their delusions of grandeur, and they will come to fruition. What options are left? Voting is clearly ripe with corruption. Or I guess if you have $500 million laying around, you could run for office to make a difference. Beyond that, the only thing to do is make your own freedom and independence. Have your own sustainable food, water, and building materials. Utopian leaders will probably let you lease your house and property from them if you divvy up those materials. You and yours will probably get 10% as long as you don't come up short. We basically lease our properties already. If you don't pay your taxes, you don't stay. I'm sure any of us that don't agree with the agenda will end up on farms. Guess that's more freedom than the housing pods in the cities. You decide if it's our fate, for it may already be too late. What do we do? Pray, love, live.